Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the Reptile Barn. I want to talk to you today about something that is potentially really exciting. We have some eggs incubating, and before they hatch here in a couple weeks, I want to do this video explaining what they could be. So, here you see before you, without any, normal snake to contrast him with, he looks like a normal, okay? However, we did pull out a normal so that I can hold him up side by side so you can see that he really isn't quite a normal, alright? And I'm also going to hand off this Gigantor girl for a minute and do a swapperoo with Liz here. We've got a bunch of snakes we're showing in this video, and I don't have tubs, so Liz is just holding a bunch and they're crawling all over her face. Alright, swap.
Come here.
Shoot.
It's okay, Molly. It's okay. Let go of my arm. She's like, no.
We need about 5 people for this video.
Right? I know.
Alright, take that monster. Holy crap, she's so enormous.
She's such a beast. Oh my gosh.
I love that snake.
Amazing.
I hope she lives for like 30 more years. She's
Right?
awesome.
For serious.
So, just for the sake of you guys being able to see, and I hope that our lighting is good, we're just inside, it's freezing cold here in Alaska still. I wish we could do this outside and you'd be able to see much better what I'm talking about. However, normal, okay? Her name is Molly. She's one of the sweetest snakes in existence. She is a normal. You see the real earth-toned browns and tans, and then the black, obviously, between the saddles and everything. Here is Ara. Also very nice blacks, but he's got much more blushing on the sides, and the saddles and alien heads are a very different color from the normal here, okay? Again, I'm trying to get in the light. Oh, it just looks so similar in the camera, Liz. So let me try and show you these two snakes. Again, guys, I'm so sorry that this isn't going to work as well with the camera that we have and the lighting that we have. But, this is a pain in the butt. That's what this is. This will be a fun editing job for you, Liz. Let go, guys. Gosh dang it. Alright, whatever. This snake is a normal. This snake is a Dinker project, okay? That has been dubbed Orange Blossom. Comes from Tim at HBP, okay? I hope they look different. All I can tell you is, to the naked eye, it's very obvious that they're different, right? The Orange Blossom, which is an unproven gene, right, is much more rusty in the alien heads. A lot more orange influence. You can't call it orange, and it's not a true orange color, but clearly more of it than a normal has, alright? Now, with some genes, you don't have to really prove them out in the same sense of you can't tell if they are or aren't. When the first bananas came and they bred and they produced some bananas and some non-bananas, it was obvious. These ones are bananas, these ones aren't. It's so visually different that no one can mistake a banana for a normal, right? An albino, same thing. A bunch of genes, same thing. But others, like Yellow Belly, Orange Dream, even like a Fire, especially as adults, they're so subtle that you got to do a lot of breeding trials to really figure out what you're looking at, right? If Orange Blossom ends up proving genetically inheritable, it will be one of those where we have to be very careful to say, is this really something, or are we just kind of seeing a slightly different normal? You know what I'm saying? However, as babies, this guy and his sister were very bright orange. It was much easier to pick them out, and many traits in ball pythons are like that, where they are the most visually different. The phenotype is most obvious when they're babies, right? So, hopefully that will continue to prove the case. Now, where we get a little bit messy when we're trying to prove this out, we bred this male, his name is Ara, to I'm going to switch off this normal now. This was just so that you guys could see a side-by-side. I don't know if it worked or not, but that was our attempt, all right? All right. Come here, big girl. Don't let her back end drop too hard.
I'm trying not to.
Especially if she's got eggs in her.
Right.
All right. This absolute beast you see before you, her name is Fat Sally. Come here. All right. She's like 5,000 grams, okay? Now, she is a single gene or a heterozygous Mojave, all right? She is glowing right now, which is something that female ball pythons do shortly before ovulation. Their coloration brightens and lightens up by several shades, basically. So it's the same color, they're just many shades brighter, all right? So I'm excited. That means she's probably going to lay eggs for us. I'm real happy with that. But the key here is she is the brightest you're ever going to see an adult Mojave, all right? Normally they're a little darker than this. Now I'm going to bring in another snake. Remember, we bred this male, this potentially new gene, Orange Blossom, to this Mojave female. We never saw any locks, ever. We didn't even see any interest. So right at the end of the season, we didn't want her to just, not get bred at all. So we kind of gave up on that for the year, and we put in a Mystic Potion male to try and make some blue-eyed Lucies and some Mystic Potions, right? They locked a bunch of times, and she laid like 13 eggs or something because she's a monster, and it was wonderful. All of the babies were either Mystic Potions, Super Mojaves, which are blue-eyed Lucies, Mystics, or Mojaves. Very obvious, kind of right down the middle of how you'd expect them to look, except for one. So for those of you who don't already know, and I'll make this quick because I know plenty of you do, Mojave and Mystic are allelic, all right? That just means they are two mutations that occur on the same gene locus. So really, they're both mutations of the same gene, right? One mutated and became Mojave, but then it also mutated another time from another snake somewhere and became a Mystic, right? So they occur on the same gene locus. Any gene locus in a given animal can only have 2 alleles on it at a time. When that animal breeds, one of those 2 is going to pass on to the offspring, right? So Gandalf, the Mystic Potion sire, should have passed on either Mystic or Mojave to every single baby. But not both, because they're on the same locus, right? The mother, this wonderful giant here, on hers, she didn't have a Mystic option. She had a normal gene or the Mojave gene. So she could have passed on a normal or a Mojave, right? Well, as I said, all the babies were Mystic Potions, Super Mojaves, or single gene Mystics or Mojaves, and all those single genes, theoretically, should have occurred anytime she passed on just a normal gene there, and then the dad would have passed on Mystic or Mojave, producing a single gene Mystic or Mojave offspring. One baby, though, who I will now show you, came out bizarre. Look at this animal. Look at his head. How washed out it is. I'm gonna turn your head, little guy. Yeah, how bright he is. How much yellow is in his color. He should be a single gene Mojave. Oh no, she's escaping. Shoot. Right? This guy should look like this female, but they don't look anything alike, right? But he's not a Mystic Potion and he's not a Super Mojave. So we were like, oh, maybe Aura, the Orange Blossom male, did get in a couple of locks that we just somehow missed, even though we checked so meticulously. But maybe we missed it. And he did get in some locks, which means he could have passed on his Orange Blossom trait while the mom passed on her Mojave. And what we're looking at here could be an Orange Blossom Mojave, right? The other possibilities, one could be that during incubation or whatever, some part of cell division or somewhere in there, the genes got messed up and he's just kind of a one-off animal that it's not going to be inheritable, right? And I guess technically another option is if the father was Gandalf, then, which was the Mystic Potion, maybe we got just a new spontaneous mutation on top of what we had been looking for. That would be real confusing, and I hope that's, I mean, I guess I don't hope anything either way, but we want to find out, right? So, we now have the original Orange Blossom male. We have his, potentially his son, or Gandalf's son, who we've named Funky. Funky, we bred this year to that normal female I was showing you before. And she laid us 8 good eggs. So, and she didn't see any other male, okay? She was not ever placed a single time with another male all season. Which means all 8 of those eggs are almost certainly from Funky, right? Half of them, statistically speaking, should be Mojaves. If he has another trait going on, whether it's Orange Blossom or some new spontaneous mutation popped up, that also could, in theory, have passed on to half of the babies, but only if it's an incomplete dominant trait, right? Which there's no guarantee of that. Most ball python traits are either incomplete dominant or dominant, but there are plenty of recessives as well. So we are hoping, we're crossing our fingers, that some of the babies look like him, some of the babies look like Aura, and I guess some would also be able to look normal or just like a typical Mojave, right? We'd like to see a nice spread so that we have a better idea of what we're dealing with here. So when we cut those eggs, it might be hard to tell from the cutting, but when they crawl out and shed and everything, it could be very exciting. We could have a new trait on our hands to work with here. Anyway, and judging by this guy, it's a trait that does a lot, right? I mean, he looks amazing. I know that you're looking at him here and comparing him to this massive beast here, and you're like, well, yeah, all the snakes look better as babies. Well, he's not a baby. He's an adult. He bred, right? He just looks like a baby next to this titanic mammoth snake right here. You know, she's like 5,000 grams. He's like 700 grams, right? So, anyway, I know this was a kind of a long and complicated video, but I wanted to do this before the egg cutting so that those of you who are interested in this project have, you know, kind of a reference to know what we are even talking about when we're cutting those eggs, right? And that day is either going to be a very exciting day or a very disappointing day, but that's okay. So yeah, potentially Orange Blossom, potentially Orange Blossom Mojave, regular Mojave. Whoops, sorry girl. Anyway, that is all for now. If that was confusing, I apologize. I may do a follow-up video on this after the eggs are hatched and everything, just to clarify some things. But I wanted to get all the information that we know of on this project out there. So thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, we're the Reptile Barn.
No.